It's great to be with all of you this morning to honor our 2023 Green Globe Award winners. I have the privilege of leading the Department of Natural Resources and Parks, a department of 2,000 talented professionals working in support of sustainable and livable King County communities and a clean and healthy natural environment. Our daily work of protecting and restoring landscapes, of creating resources from waste, of ensuring we all have clean water and a healthy environment is done to continue the sound stewardship of the Coast Salish peoples who have called this spectacular place home since time immemorial. We remain indebted to the tribes for their continued leadership. We thank them for their partnership, and we reaffirm every day our commitment to this most essential work. Today, we are honoring some of the very best people and organizations who are helping us fulfill that stewardship mission throughout our agency's diverse and essential work. Whether it's reducing waste destined for the landfill and instead figuring out ways to transform and reuse items as new products, preserve and restoring limited precious land, growing the food we eat close to home on land King County protected, or studying how we can better protect our environment and the creatures that live in it. We rely on the outstanding individuals and groups who work with us as trusted partners to care for this special place we all call home. The Green Globe Award is King County's highest environmental honor. Winners are the best of the best. Their contributions are critical to achieving Executive Dow Constantine's vision of clean water, healthy habitat, and meeting the goals laid out in his strategic climate action plan. In just a few moments, we'll hear from Executive Constantine, whose own commitment to his environmental stewardship actually began long ago. Actually, I should say, it wasn't that long ago. With preservation of a neighborhood green space that's not too far from where we are here in West Seattle. I want to first thank Anita Kisei. Anita, where are you? Out there. There she is, for her work planning this event. We have not done this in person since 2019, and so it takes a lot of effort and coordination. I want to thank the whole public affairs team for putting this on this morning. I also want to thank Councilmember Perry, Councilmember Dembowski, Chair Upthegrove. I saw you just a second ago. There you are. Thank you. And also Port Commissioner Fred Felleman for joining us here today. Now, I'm very excited to introduce Essex Porter as our MC today. A familiar face to everyone who's lived here for any amount of time. Essex spent nearly 40 years at Cairo 7 before signing off back in November of 2021. Essex was a standard bearer of trusted storytelling, a fair and straightforward reporter. His career enshrined the very best qualities of what it means to be a professional journalist. Someone who held accountable the people in power, someone who told stories with humanity and from the heart. Essex was a steady, principled communicator, and while he hasn't yet celebrated the 2-year anniversary since he signed off, I know I'm not the only person who believes Essex is sorely missed. But we're very glad he's here this morning to join us and be the MC for the Green Globe Awards. Essex.
Thank you, Chrissy, for a wonderful introduction, and very honored to be asked to MC this ceremony for people who are working so hard to take care of and be great stewards of what we are blessed to have here in the Pacific Northwest. It's wonderful to be asked to be part of this 2023 King County Green Globe Award celebration. I get to introduce you to some of King County's most important environmental stewardship partners. Let's get started. Please join me in welcoming King County Executive Dow Constantine.
Thanks, Essex. You know, I'm still really nervous around Essex, even though he's not going to report what I say on television tonight. But it is so great to have you here. And yes, I agree with Christy. You are sorely missed as a face we see every night on our televisions. And I'm appreciative of your continuing service to our communities. Speaking of service to our communities, I wanted to also make mention of the arrival of the council member for this district, the best district, the 8th council district that I used to represent, Council Member Joe McDermott. Thank you for being here. You know, this is the first DNRP-led event in a long time where I didn't have to put on hip waders and make my way through rushing water across slippery rocks waiting for that blooper reel moment that actually you would have loved. It is perilous sometimes, but those are my favorite events because we get to see the results of our restoration projects. And as Christy mentioned, that's what really got me involved in public life in the first place. Something that we had was going to be lost. I worked with neighbors to get organized and become an activist and saved it. And then that one thing led to another, and all of a sudden here I am, 35 years later. So it has been a long time, yes. But, there are so many people who are doing this work and on a much greater scale. And it is good for us to be able to, even if it's only every 2 years, recognize them. The Green Globe Awards are more than an opportunity to enjoy high-end vegan donuts. Well done, DNRP. Well done. They have a much, much better program they put on than the executive office. You're just going to get lukewarm tap water in our office, but swear to God. But, the awards have some more important meaning than the cuisine. First, they inspire hope by showing that the people of King County have ingenuity and tenacity. They have the ability to produce lasting results for the people and for fish and for wildlife, for all living things that make this place their home. And second, they identify best practices and give us the opportunity to share those best practices and show how we can bring those innovative solutions to scale. And this is a really great chance for us to bring together people working in various areas of environmental protection and restoration to share our learnings and to celebrate our successes. You see it in each of this year's awardees, and I won't go through all of them, but Sledge Seattle, where they carefully deconstruct buildings so that wood is reused and put back into the economy, rather than going into our landfill, which we work very hard to avoid having filled up. And that cuts carbon emissions, as well as saves trees and provides lumber for affordable housing. And speaking of affordable housing, using recycled wood, Sound Foundations Northwest builds transitional tiny homes with a highly efficient approach that minimizes waste. And then a group I had a chance to visit last year or the year before, the Black Farmers Collective, where they improved the health of Black communities by strengthening our local food economy. And you see it at the Snow King Watershed Council, an all-volunteer organization that works to protect streams, watersheds, and natural areas. And as I said, there are so many more examples that you'll hear about today. Their achievements contribute to a more resilient, more sustainable, more equitable King County. So to each of this year's award winners, thank you for shaping a better future for our region. Thank you. Now, none of these accomplishments would be possible without talented people providing vision and leadership. And that's why we're going to start this year's award ceremony with our highest honor, the Environmental Catalyst Award, which goes to one of the most trusted environmental leaders in King County, Terry Lavender. You all know Terry. I'd like to spend the next 10 minutes reciting a Wikipedia summary of Terry's 30-plus years of stewardship, highlighting the many successes with which you are familiar. Instead, I'm just going to tell you that I've personally benefited from her wise counsel as the leader of the Conservation Futures Advisory Committee. During her 2 decades of service, Conservation Futures provided $300 million for more than 350 projects that protected 120,000 acres of open space in King County. That's a lot. Her legacy is protected forests and trails and river corridors and farmlands and urban green space, places that contribute to the quality of life we all enjoy. 2 years ago, Terry joined me on a tour of land that the county had recently acquired in the Bear Creek watershed near Redmond, one of the most productive salmon habitats in central Puget Sound, in part owing to your activism over the course of several decades. Our success there would not be possible without Terry, who worked tirelessly since the 1980s to protect fragile wetlands located right next door to Microsoft's booming hometown. The public trust that Conservation Futures has built helped lead to the remarkable success we saw at the polls last year. I proposed, and these council members approved, a measure that went to the people to restore the original rate of the Conservation Futures Fund. And that will allow us, yes. And that will allow us to accelerate the preservation of the last best places in King County, many tens of thousands of acres. But the thing that's remarkable to me is that this didn't just sneak over the finish line. This didn't win by 3 or 6 or 10%. We got a 70% yes vote out of the people of King County for saving our most precious lands. And a lot of that is due to the work of Terry and others in this room who have helped to continue to make this a bipartisan issue, a nonpartisan issue, an issue that we all care about, because the thing that defines this region is its natural environment and our lifelong commitment to preserving and restoring it. So it is my pleasure to present this year's Catalyst Award to a woman who needs no introduction, Terry Lavender.
Now, while Dow gets his picture taken there, I'll remind all of you that when I was a reporter, Dow had no reason to worry that I or any other reporter was going to be in the same room. Because Dow knows that I and all the other reporters abide by the same rule. If you don't run, we will not chase you. Dow started us off with the Environmental Catalyst Award, and now I have the honor of introducing you to the winner of the Green Globe Award for Environmental Legacy. It is presented to Muckleshoot tribal member and tribal historian Warren King George. Warren's work to collect and record oral history from members of the Muckleshoot community creates a rich and detailed account of how the Muckleshoot people have been thriving here since time immemorial. Warren applies his knowledge by coordinating with government agencies to ensure tribal members have access to their treaty-protected resources and that management plans provide for the preservation and enhancement of the tribe's valuable cultural resources. Warren offers King County a unique perspective from the tribe's deep history in this place and their knowledge of its land and resources. This shared knowledge helps the county integrate the tribe's traditional cultural practices with contemporary science and technology toward restoring impacted natural resources effectively and appropriately for all people in King County. Here's a small example. Not long ago, Warren helped the DNRP staff solve a mystery involving a severely rusted flintlock rifle found decades ago at a garage sale here in King County. Warren's research of the old weapon showed the rifle was just like the kind his ancestors used during the Indian Wars of the 1850s. So our congratulations to Warren King George, the 2023 King County Green Globe Environmental Legacy Award winner. Our leader in green building. And that award goes to Sledge Seattle. Welcome up, gentlemen. And your award is on the way. Okay. Sledge Seattle is a team of harvesters rescuing wood and other valuable materials from homes destined to be demolished and thrown away so that those materials can be used again. Jim Barger and John Benavente. Did I get that correct? Barger. Did I get Benavente right?
Very well done.
You always stumble on the easy one. Specialize in the careful deconstruction of homes, buildings, and commercial structures across King County in the most environmentally responsible way possible. Through its work, Sledge Seattle has repeatedly demonstrated the viability of the short loop circular economy for salvaged lumber. Layers are peeled off in reverse order of how the home was built, and the salvaged materials are reorganized and separated for reuse. Wood harvested from deconstruction projects is then used as lumber for new, more affordable housing units, including backyard homes known as detached accessory dwelling units and tiny houses. This process reduces the amount of material that goes to the landfill and cuts down on the need to manufacture and transport new products from the factory to the job site, adding up to tremendous savings in greenhouse gas emissions and the use of new materials. Congratulations to Sledge Seattle. Our next award is for the leader in affordable green housing. And we are honored to give that award to Sound Foundations Northwest. The DeSoto-based organization's goal is to be part of the solution that ends homelessness in King County by building transitional tiny houses. Operating inside a South Seattle warehouse called the Hope Factory, Sound Foundations Northwest builds its tiny homes and then collaborates with the Low Income Housing Institute that sites tiny home villages for new occupants. 3 people per year transition into a tiny home and then out to a better life. Because these homes are built to last for 20 years, each Sound Foundations Northwest tiny home has the potential of helping up to 60 people transition from unhoused to housed. The Hope Factory is a highly efficient construction operation with many of the materials that traditional home builders might call scraps being repurposed for other uses in the home so that very little material goes to waste. Congratulations to Sound Foundations Northwest.
Thank you.
Now it's time to honor the leader in waste reduction, the Refugee Artisan Initiative. Ming Tun Edelman founded Refugee Artisan Initiative 6 years ago and partners with refugee and immigrant women to foster an inclusive, prosperous transition to the U.S. through artisan skills training and micro-business development. This happens by upcycling textiles and other materials, creating unique items that are available through a popular e-commerce site. A late 20th century immigrant from Taiwan, Ming first went to school and became a pharmacist, but felt compelled to help other immigrant women achieve their financial independence. Thinking back to her grandmother's skills at making her own clothing, she saw an opportunity to help fellow female immigrants achieve better lives, and Refugee Artisan Initiative was born. The sewing work at RAI provides refugee women with meaningful income and work while simultaneously preventing waste. To date, RAI has prevented more than 40,000 pounds of usable materials from going to a landfill by upcycling those materials into 120,000 items, all while creating jobs for more than 40 refugee and immigrant women. The organization currently employs women from Myanmar, Afghanistan, Morocco, Ethiopia, and elsewhere. Congratulations to the Refugee Artisan Initiative. Now on to our next Green Globe Award, the leader in local food economy, the Black Farmers Collective. The Black Farmers Collective is a group of urban food system activists working to improve the health of Black communities through food justice and sovereignty. Their mission is to build a Black-led network of food system participants to acquire and steward farmland, facilitate food education, and create space for Black liberation in healing and joy. The Black Farmers Collective runs 2 urban farms, Yes Farm on Yesler Way in Seattle, and Small Axe Farm along the Sammamish River between Redmond and Woodinville. It's on land leased from King County Farmland Preservation Program. These farms not only grow food for local communities, but are incubators for BIPOC farmers who are interested in training and learning about farming and creating sustainable farm businesses. So please join me in congratulating the Black Farmers Collective. Our next Green Globe Award for Leader in Jobs Pathways goes to Emerald Cities Collaborative. Emerald Cities Collaborative pursues a high road approach to greening cities and building resilient regional economies. They help communities increase their capacity to build high road economies that are more sustainable and economically just by creating cross-sector collaborations that are acutely focused on those historically left out of the economic and community development process. In King County, Emerald Cities Collaborative offers a variety of support services to minority and women-owned contractors seeking to grow their businesses and interested in clean energy projects. These services include their flagship program, E-Contractor Academy, as well as customized business consulting, matchmaking, and workshops on contracting and sustainable building topics. The organization also engages in workforce development, providing labor community partnerships, training programs, and career pipelines to pair qualified individuals with green jobs. Emerald Cities advocates locally and nationally for policy supporting efficient infrastructure and contracting that includes minority-owned businesses. Well done, Emerald Cities Collective. We're moving to rural King County for this next award, the Leader in Community Resiliency, Snoqualmie Valley Fish Farm Flood Implementation Oversight Committee. While King County has long-standing commitments and decades of actions intended to protect and enhance farmland, restore threatened salmon and associated habitat, and reduce flood risks to residents and infrastructure, balancing these priorities can be challenging in a shared landscape. That's where the Fish, Farm, and Flood Oversight Committee comes in. This committee of farmers, fishers, tribes, and agency representatives has been working for years to achieve the goals of those sometimes competing priorities. Over 5 years, the committee has helped to sustain implementation efforts of nearly 46 recommendations and uses a consensus model to make progress where fish, farm, and flood interests collide in the valley, ensuring progress in each category. The committee has accomplished much, including an innovative drainage pilot project along Griffin Creek that restored land to a working farm while improving spawning salmon habitat in the creek. The committee is also working to implement a community-led agricultural strategic plan and developed King County's largest habitat restoration project to date, the 130-acre Fall City Reach project along the Snoqualmie River. So congratulations to you all. Let's move downstream now into Puget Sound and the Green Globe Leader in Orca Recovery Award, Jason Wood of SMRU Consulting. SMRU Consulting conducts marine mammal research worldwide, including Puget Sound, where it is measuring underwater noise from vessels, which poses multiple risks to the critically weakened southern resident orca population. Orcas rely on their use of sound to hunt and communicate, navigate, and avoid danger, which can be limited by noise generated by marine traffic. In the winter of 2022, SMRU researchers aboard the King County research vessel Sound Guardian deployed a buoy that provided real-time and recorded data on the presence of orcas along with vessels and their sonic signatures. In this case, they chose a wintertime deployment of the buoy because that's when the southern resident orcas are here to feed on Chinook and chum salmon runs. This pro bono study is helping to increase the frequency and quality of reports of orca sightings provided to the pilots of large vessels so that those pilots can voluntarily slow down or change course, reducing the amount of underway noise and preventing collisions. So it's really great work from SMRU Consulting. Next, we want to honor the Green Globe Award recipient for Leader in Forest Stewardship, Kevin Zorbist at Washington State University Extension Forestry. Despite its urban reputation, King County has one of the highest numbers of small forest landowners in the state. Professor Zorbist and his program staff at WSU Extension Forestry provide objective, research-based education and resources for landowners with a wide range of property types, from small backyard forests to larger forested properties and even tree farms. WSU's program partners with King County, King Conservation District, and the Washington State Department of Natural Resources to provide the most important education and training platform for private forest landowners in the county. The program directly leads to protection and improved management of thousands of acres across the landscape, which means improved habitat for fish and wildlife, increased resiliency to climate change, improved carbon sequestration, and more. So congratulations, Professor Zorbist. We're down to our final award of the 2023 Green Globe Awards, the Leader in Environmental Excellence. That award goes to Snow King Watershed Council. Snow King Watershed Council is an all-volunteer organization working together to protect streams, watersheds, and natural areas for the health and quality of life for our region. They focus on water quality and community engagement through water quality monitoring and related activities. The Watershed Council promotes local stream stewardship, including awareness of water quality issues, and provides outreach and education. The Watershed Council also partners with and provides training to local environmental, education, and youth organizations, community groups, and schools. Snow King also has a long history of advocacy, working to protect and preserve natural areas threatened by land development. They train volunteers to gather water quality data on area streams, using the collected data to bolster advocacy work for enhanced stream protections. They also provide technical assistance and advice to groups interested in advancing environmental protections for streams, natural areas, and other landscapes. And finally, Snow King Watershed Council advocates at Olympia for stronger regulations that protect our shared environment. So our congratulations to Snow King Watershed Council and to all of our Green Globe Award winners. Let me introduce Councilmember Updegrove, and he's going to give us some final thoughts.
Well, first, let me congratulate all the award recipients. And while I have the ceremonial duties as chair of the council, this county council is united in support of our Department of Natural Resources and Parks and in our support for the tremendous organizations here today. And that's reflected by the support you see. We were joined by our Transportation Environment Committee Chair, Rod Dembowski, our Budget Chair, Joe McDermott. We have our Local Services Chair, Sarah Perry. We almost have a quorum at the County Council here today. It's also very humbling to be in a group of folks like this. Congratulations, Terry, who's a role model for all of us. And I think today's award recipients demonstrated that Washington's unique natural beauty makes environmental values come very naturally here. And for me, in my case, the high school and college summers I spent teaching environmental science out on the Olympic Peninsula, leading hikes through the North Cascades, really taught me a lifelong love of the outdoors, of our clean air, of our wild spaces. But it was my academic work in environmental science and my experience in the state legislature as chair of the House Environment Committee, now chair of the County Council, that actually has also taught me to fear for our environmental health. Because there is no shadow of a doubt that the carbon pollution made by humans poses a serious public health threat to our generation and future generations. And the threats aren't on the horizon, they're here now. Our farms and our forests, our fish and our future are endangered now, today. But fortunately, King County is blessed with some great environmental leaders, including Executive Dow Constantine and all of the individuals, organizations, and businesses that we recognize today. And we all have a responsibility in our region and our state to provide continued strong leadership to protect our land, air, and water. And this means restoring the health of our rivers, means better managing our forests, means protecting our aquatic lands, and doing this while respecting tribal treaty rights and centering the principles of environmental justice. And in doing so, we can unite to protect and save our climate. And thanks to everyone in this room, everyone in here has made a difference and made a good beginning in King County. But we must follow through and do it soon, because leaving our carbon footprints on the backs of our children and our grandchildren would be a moral crime. And future generations have the right to experience good health and experience the awe and well-being and love of our environment that so many of us here in this room have had the opportunity to enjoy. And whether or not they do is up to us. So congratulations again to all the award winners, and thank you very much. Thanks.
Congratulations again to our honorees and for your commitment to lasting partnerships that benefit the greater good. Thanks again to Executive Constantine and the other council members who helped us honor the 2023 Green Globe winners. And thanks to the DNRP staff who nominated the award winners, to Christy True, to Anita Kassay, and all those who worked so hard to pull this award ceremony together. And again, thank you for your warm welcome to me and for all of you for being here.